everyone, I'm Anna Berry, Technical Director of B&G Equipment, part of the Pelsis family of brands. Cousin to the Hurricane Ultra, which you might already be familiar with, the Hurricane ES is also a cold fogger, meaning it uses high pressure to push liquid formulations out of its nozzles, as opposed to thermal foggers, which use heat. Unlike the Hurricane Ultra, the ES employs an electrostatic charge that is applied to the droplets when they exit the nozzle, creating a 12 to 18-inch electrostatic zone where the droplets are positively charged, keeping them from aggregating together. The Hurricane ES has a 4-liter tank for water-based only formulations and a nozzle system that utilizes 3 nozzles, each of which employ double vortex technology. Those nozzles release a fog of very small droplets from 10 to 50 micrometers in diameter, depending on which of the 3 flow rate settings are selected. And those droplets are thrown approximately 10 to 20 feet out. The Hurricane ES is a great portable fogger for industries using insecticides, disinfectants, or deodorizers, and commonly used in the healthcare, hotel, and hospitality industries. In fact, the Hurricane ES can treat an average-sized hotel room in less than a minute. The impact-resistant tank holds a gallon of water-based formulations. If you're using oil-based formulations, you'll want to go with a different fogger, such as the Hurricane Ultra. To fill it, just remove the fill cap, which is tethered, and fill the tank to the 128-ounce mark. Attached at the tank, you'll see a stainless steel meter valve, which can be adjusted to one of 3 settings, marked 1, 2, and 3. The lower the setting, the smaller the diameter of droplets that come out. The Hurricane ES has 3 nozzles that the fog is released from. Each nozzle has a vortex in the center that turns right and a vortex on the outside that turns left, distributing the formulation up to 15 feet away. These nozzles can be aimed downwards at a 20-degree angle and upwards at a 40-degree angle. The handle has a grounding strip. Always hold by the handle so that your hand is contacting that strip. To protect the motor from moisture, there's an air filter. Do not operate without the filter. If the filter appears wet, that's a telltale sign of misuse, usually that it was operated unattended. This fogger is designed to be held, not left unattended. You'll most likely use this with an extension cord for operation. Make sure that cord is grounded, of the correct gauge, and 3-prong. If you're going to take apart your Hurricane ES, make sure it's unplugged. The electrodes are made of titanium, so they have a long life. They must be kept in alignment in front of each nozzle orifice at all times. If the electrode prongs become damaged or shortened, the entire electrode will need to be replaced. To do that, use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the center mounting screw. And just replace the electrode and screw it right back in. Be careful not to over-tighten it, as that could damage the electrode. The Hurricane ES can only be used with water-based formulations. For this demonstration, we'll just use water. Be sure to study the label of whatever formulation you do choose for the required personal protective equipment, application rate, mixing requirements, and other application specifics. I'm wearing chemical-resistant gloves and safety goggles, which are typical PPE required by most chemicals that are utilized in foggers. A respirator or additional protective gear may also be required. As with most foggers, it's typically best to pre-mix the chemical and the water ahead of time outside of the fogger at the amounts prescribed by your label. Once well mixed, we can pour into the Hurricane ES. Using a funnel or a container that you're able to pour from, we'll pour the pre-mixed solution into the tank. We've already filled this tank with most of the water, and we're just adding 8 more ounces to the container. And then we take our cap, which is tethered, twist it on, and we're ready to use it. Be sure to wear any PPE required by the label, such as your gloves and your glasses. In the off setting, connect your extension cord and plug in the machine. There are 3 settings on the Hurricane ES that produce progressively larger droplet diameters. Your preferred setting will be based on how you're using it. Typically, disinfection requires small droplet sizes, so setting one with 10 to 20 microns may make sense, whereas for fly or mosquito control, we may require a larger droplet. Time and flow rate setting dictate how much liquid is in the fog. The lower the setting, the longer it takes to get the same amount of liquid. The longer the time, the more liquid. For disinfecting, 10 seconds at setting 3 is effective, whereas at setting 1, 30 seconds is effective. Hold the Hurricane ES by its handle, ensuring your fingers cover the grounding strip. Hold the Hurricane ES 12 to 15 inches over the target surface for the amount of time necessary to ensure coverage. Ensure that the fogger is not aimed at anyone and never swing it. That can result in uneven coverage. Turn on and hold over the surface for the desired amount of time. Your label will dictate how much active ingredient is in each gallon of water. To find out how much chemical you're applying or needing, always calibrate the Hurricane ES. The formulations that are used in the tank may leave residues in both the tank and the meter valve. So regular cleaning is really important for accurate application. To clean, use a solution of hot water and detergent. Add to the tank and close. I've already filled up most of the way here, and we'll just add our remaining amount of hot water and detergent. Plug it in and set it to the highest setting. Which is setting 3. And then run it until the entire contents of the tank is emptied. Once the tank is emptied, we'll open up our tank and fill it with just clean water. And then we'll run the entire solution through the Hurricane ES again to remove any detergent that might still be present. Again, at the highest setting, 3. And of course, you'd run that until the entire tank is empty. When cleaning and rinsing the Hurricane ES, do not remove the meter valve. It's not necessary. It'll be cleaned in the process that we just went through. The air filter should not get wet, but may get dirty. Clean periodically when dirty. Allow it to air dry before replacing. Do not move the siphon tube. It is not necessary. Regularly examine both the cord of the Hurricane ES and the extension cord it's attached to. Replace if either of them become damaged. The electrodes are cleaned while the tank is being cleaned, but if necessary, you can also clean using a Phillips screwdriver and a small nylon brush. Being careful not to bend the probes. I'm going to unplug it while we clean it. And we'll just use our screwdriver to pull out the probes, the electrodes. And then carefully holding it so as not to bend it. We're just going to clean off any debris or residue that you find on those electrodes. And then once clean, you'll put it back in place. Again, being very careful not to bend the electrodes, and then use your Phillips screwdriver to tighten, but careful not to over tighten because that will bend those electrodes. Thanks for hanging out with me and the Hurricane ES. Check out our other videos where we dig more into how our products are used.